Welcome to Abiding Hysteria, the monthly podcast where women and gender diverse people tell their healthcare stories. I'm your host, Rachel Woodard, and I want to thank you so much for listening to the show today. Your listening means the world to me and my guests, so thank you for showing up for all of us today. If you'd like to know about upcoming episodes and more, follow us on social media at Abiding Hysteria. For early access to uncut episodes with bonus content, become a patron for only $5 a month at patreon.com/abidinghysteria. Thanks for being my patron, Mom. If you cannot support the show financially, I get it. If you still want to help get these stories told, remember to rate us, leave a review, leave a comment, and share this with your friends and family. It really helps others find the show so that we can build a community together and feel a little less isolated. Speaking of which, I've started a Discord. It's very small and still under construction, but it exists. If you're interested in joining, send me a DM on social media at Abiding Hysteria or email me at abidinghysteria@gmail.com. As a reminder, this show is informational only and not a substitute for individual medical advice. Today's guest is Randi Pullar, who is a writer, content strategist, and advocate for chronically ill and neurodivergent entrepreneurs. Through her blog and YouTube channel, Chronically Cozy Life, she shares low-energy content marketing strategies and cozy business tools that help small business owners grow sustainably. She is such a cool human being and speaks with me today about all of her endeavors, the differences and similarities between the US and Canadian healthcare systems, and more on this episode of Abiding Hysteria. By the way, I'm curious, what do you think can be done to improve your country's healthcare system? Who's doing it right, and how can we learn from them? Leave us a comment. Let's talk about it. Hey everybody, host Rachel Woodard here. Today I have Randi Pullar from Chronically Cozy Life with us. Randi, would you tell us a little bit about yourself and what brought you here?
Hello everyone. Thank you so much for having me here, Rachel. This is my second podcast and I'm super excited. This is my new favorite thing to do. Hi, my name is Randi, pronouns she, her. I am chronically ill. I have generalized hypermobility syndrome, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, and ADHD. It has shaped a lot of what I've done career-wise, and most recently I've come to the point where working outside of the house is just it's just a nightmare kind of idea. My symptoms are too up and down. I have too many days where I'm down and out, and I just cannot even contemplate the idea of having to call another adult and tell them that I'm sick and I need to stay home ever again. And so I've been working to build up a freelance business, and kind of on the side / also it's taking over a community and resources for other chronically ill entrepreneurs, because I've been doing the entrepreneur thing for a while now, and it is not an easy thing to find resources and people that understand the struggle of not only being an entrepreneur, but also being chronically ill and having low energy and different symptoms that you have to fight with, or being neurodivergent and having a brain that wants to just fight with you. It's not something that everybody understands. So I'm trying to create more understanding around it and more resources and more community for it too, because being chronically ill is horribly isolating, and being a solo entrepreneur is not that much more. It just I'm sitting at home by myself working all day. And now that I'm starting to build this community, I'm talking to people and seeing people, and it's really nice and I love it. And I sound a little stuck in my house there.
Oh, you're fine. I totally get that. I mean, it can be so isolating to have chronic illnesses, especially invisible illnesses where if you're one of those people who has a disabled parking pass or something like that, people are like, why do you have that? You look fine kind of situation. It's incredibly frustrating, but also isolating, especially as I've said in past episodes, it's hard to empathize with something that you've never experienced yourself. So just to kind of start from the beginning, how did your chronic illness journey start?
So funny how often I actually tell this story now, and I never thought that it would be something that would be very interesting to anybody, but being able to tell this story and connect with other people that have like really experienced a lot of the same things. I was listening to your first episode earlier, and I think we had a lot in common. So I think I was like in my early 20s when I really started having like some real problems. Definitely as a kid, I was one of those kids that like hurt themselves a lot, and I was really clumsy. And I mean, like the ADHD issues aside, like that was definitely a thing, but like the chronic illness issues, I was just like, and I got like a lot of headaches and a lot of aches and pains and, you know, that kind of thing. But it was never something that like anyone would have paid attention to so much or like noticed was happening because I was just a kid and like hurting myself and whatever, like just playing. So I was in like my early 20s, and one of the first like major issues I had was, other than the fact that I had chronic headaches all my life, was my hip went out, and it was my SI joint. And so it was like a pain, like if you've ever had your SI joint go out of place, which if you know anatomy enough, you know SI joints are not really supposed to move. So it's a very weird pain, and it's not something most people understand. So when I like said that it was a problem, most people didn't understand what was going on. And I did finally find a massage therapist who was like, he like felt it around and he's like, oh yeah, no, this is like out of line kind of thing. And I was like, oh, that's weird. And then pretty much just like cue the next 10 years of like situations like that. Next, it was other side of my hip. And then I was having problems with my wrist. And then there was a bunch of problems with my neck. It was just kind of a series of things that like, but it was always kind of one thing at a time a little bit. Like there wasn't as much crossover. So it wasn't really like something that they could put together. So like going to the doctors, I got every classic response. Like, it's just because you're a girl. It's because you're anxious. It's because you're growing. It's because you're stressed. It's because you're, you know, and like, I get that they couldn't see most of it, but they also weren't super willing to look deeper into it. And so
it's like the worst jigsaw puzzle ever.
It was no fun at all. The headaches were the worst one. They were the one that like kept kind of taking me back. And like, I also got like kind of zero good response for, because most of the doctors were just like, headaches happen. My headaches happen because of intracranial cervical instability. There's instability between the joints in my skull and in my neck. And that was just never something they considered. I was getting chest pains for a while. And granted, when you come in with chest pains, they do the things. They did the heart test. They did the lung tests. They did the things. Not once did any of the doctors ever consider that it could be musculoskeletal. It wasn't until I was like talking to a friend of ours who's a massage therapist, and she was like, hey, have you considered? And I'm like, weird, no, I haven't. And so like, again, I went back to that same massage therapist, and he like pushed on my back, on my ribs, and he was like, yeah, this side's moving, this side's not. And I'm like, seems like that's not supposed to be a thing either way. And he's like, no, neither side are doing what they're supposed to do. And so
it's so funny when like everybody with chronic illness has got this story. At some point in the story, they're like, wait, that's not supposed to do that?
Oh my gosh, that's been like the motto of my life. Like, that's not normal? Like, what do you mean? It's like, yeah, that one always reminds me of that like meme or like whatever. He was like, the normal amount of pain is actually none.
Oh, that blew my mind the first time I heard it. I was like, what do you mean zero? There are people who have zero pain.
Some people just like get up and don't feel like a truck hit them in the mornings. Like, what? They get rested? What? I think being rested and not tired is a myth, though. I truly do, because like, seriously, show me an adult. Show me an adult who is not like, I'm tired. And I mean, like, there's chronic illness, fatigue, that's a thing. And then there's tired, that's a thing. But seriously, show me an adult who's not like, I'm tired.
That is so true. And what's funny to me though is like the nights that I have a really hard time with pain and stuff like that, and I like sleep for maybe 4 hours, suddenly in the morning, I'm like, yes, I'm finally well rested. And then I overdo it and then I can't sleep again. And it's just like a vicious cycle. And then if I sleep for like 8 hours, like a human is supposed to, I feel like garbage.
Why? Why is it so
It's so
backwards?
weird.
Why do we both understand this like backwards thing that like our bodies do? And honestly, I think like, and I think this isn't talked about enough. The thing about invisible illnesses is a lot of us struggle at night. So much of like what actually causes our problems happen when nobody else is going to see us anyways.
Right.
Right? So, like, I mean, like, for me, nights have been the worst. I've been having weird dreams, sleeping issues, like, different chronic pain. Like, if I have, like, one of my joints are extra out at the moment, I'm not sleeping well through that. I've been waking up really early. I'm told apparently this is, like, an ADHD thing, but, like, I wake up really early and just, like, nobody else sees that. So, like, all of that happens, and then, like, you have to get up and go to work and you have to like do your things and you have to show up. And like, I've been up since 4, but like, we're here because we have to be, and like life goes on and you can't just like go back to bed all the time, some of the times.
Yeah. And it's like, I don't need to be one of those people who's like, I'm getting a gold star for everything I do, but like, if somebody else were to be put in my body for a day and they showed up to work and worked the whole day, I think they would probably expect a gold star in that situation because it's really hard.
I think people would be calling in sick a lot if they woke up feeling how I feel on a daily basis.
Oh, absolutely. Sure. How are things going now in terms of like managing your pain and stuff like that?
So all in all, I mean, so it took me a while to get an actual diagnosis of being hypermobile. I'm told that it's not fully Ehlers-Danlos because I don't have an autoimmune disorder. But to be honest, the guy didn't seem too certain of many things. So it took me from point A of that first time my hip slipped out and really starting to struggle with that to like getting someone to say, yes, you have this. It took about 17 years.
Wow.
Apparently that's super average for hypermobility. It's one of those things that's like everyone says is really rare, or like if you look it up, like all the documentation will say it's rare, but like go on the internet and like talk to some people, like it's super not rare. There's a lot of us out there and there's a lot of us struggling with it. And there's like even more of us not sure what we're even struggling with. So that's an issue. So all in all, now I have an answer, and that was kind of all I was given.
Right.
And dude was so proud of himself. He's like, yep, you're hypermobile for sure. I'm like, cool.
And
he's like, and what else? And I'm like, and some help with that? So I'm like, what's the treatment? Is there a medication? Like, is there something? And he's like, no. Have you tried exercise?
Oh my God.
And let me, right? What a triggering sentence that is to all of us. And that's actually like, that sentence was the basis of my first business. I started working for myself as a personal trainer because every doctor told me to try exercise. And all in all, if you go and do the research, hypermobility can be helped by exercise in theory.
If you know what you're doing.
If you know what you're doing. But like for real, every doctor was just like, have you tried exercise? And like after like I was working as a personal trainer, I was like, you know what? Yeah, I have. And you know what I can also tell you? I should be able to sue you for saying that. Like the amount of problems you can cause. by just saying, have you tried exercise?
Yeah, for me, it was, have you tried yoga? And I'm like, yes, I have. And I've injured myself a lot because of it. Like,
Yeah.
the
And
amount of
like,
subluxation
of
I've
course I
done.
tried yoga. I was in pain. Like, what do you think? I kind of got to the point, like, now I can say there are some things that are getting worse, but because I understand them a little bit better, they are a little bit less stressful and they are a little bit easier to manage.
Yeah.
There are not a ton of amazing ways to manage. Like, there are things, like I find heat helps when my muscles. Fun thing about being hypermobile, you get super bendy and super stiff as you age because all of your joints and your muscles are like, help me. So heat helps a lot, but in the summer, of course, that's really difficult. Also, apparently now I am heat intolerant, just entirely. I'm sun intolerant, essentially, like between the medication that I'm on and just being myself. Like, I don't deal well with the heat. I am currently sort of investigating some possibility of POTS. But again, I think that it might be one of those things that's like, and I'm kind of stuck in this weird position of everything is not so bad that it's obvious and shows up on things and that like qualifies me for like treatments and stuff like that. But it's bad enough that it's seriously affecting my life.
Yeah.
I have like a chronically high heart rate, like all the time. And I think I'm going on 5 months waiting to see a cardiologist.
Oof.
So that's happening super quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we should mention that you're in Canada, by the way. Our
Yes.
medical systems are slightly different. But yeah, the wait time it's ridiculous. But I understand
it's one of the big problems that we have.
Yeah.
And like, I can definitely say, like, and especially because I have a lot of American friends and a lot of very sick American friends, that like, it's for sure nice that we don't have to pay for things like going, to our GP for something or going to the emergency room. However, not everything is free. That's like a misnomer. Pretty much any kind of treatment that would actually help me, like either seeing a physiotherapist or a kinesiologist or or like a massage therapist, any of those kind of treatments that would actually help me, those are all paid out of pocket unless you have insurance through an employer. I'm self-employed and our insurance is through my husband, kind of so, like, it's not great. And then the waiting times, like it took me 4 years, like half of that time trying to get a diagnosis is because it took me about 4 years to just find a general practitioner.
Wow.
Like GPs are so rare in this area, and especially the area that I live in, we have a lot of seniors because we have really nice weather. And so all of the GPs are super booked up.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, it's nice that we can go to a GP without paying for it. However, that's if you can get in to see someone. So,
oh, for sure.
A lot of things just go missed for a while. I really lucked out finding the GP that I have now. She's great. She is, I believe, Nigerian, but came from Britain.
Oh, cool.
And her attitude about medicine is very different than any of the Canadian doctors that I have met. Like, she has, I mean, one, she's a she, and that was fantastic to find, and like a freaking unicorn in itself, right? I'm so excited about that. And then also just like, she's just trained to believe and then like take the next step. Like, I don't think that like she really questions it so much. She listens to what I say and then she's like, okay, let's investigate.
It's so nice.
Like, it's not up to her to like decide whether she thinks that it's a real thing or not. She's just like, all right, let's see if the tests say. Downside to that is a lot of the times with hypermobility, the tests come back and say labs are all fine.
Yeah, so. That comic where they're like, somebody's drowning and their hand is going down and then they like high five it and it says your lab results are normal and the hand just goes down.
That's exactly it.
It's so real.
The GP that I had before, I could not go back to her after she said basically, like, I was in there, something had pinched my sciatic nerve.
Ooh.
And it was so bad and I couldn't get it back out. And then like all of these other issues happening. And I was like, I went in there crying. Like I went into that office crying. And she had the audacity to say to me, well, according to these numbers, it's not bad enough for treatment yet.
Girl.
Not bad enough.
If it's causing you to cry, like weep, then what is bad enough?
Right? Like trying to explain to her too that like I'm meeting every definition of like disabled here. Like it's causing me not to be able to work properly. I'm tired all the time. Like mentally I cannot function anymore.
Usually it's affecting my work is the key to getting their attention.
Yeah.
And if even that's not working, then it's like, what
Yeah.
are we doing here? But it sucks so much that we have to be like, my ability to capitalism is being affected right now, therefore it's actually a problem.
Yeah. I cannot capitalism right now, so
just like I can't capitalism any day, but especially not today.
And now I feel like they're pretty much just like, well, have you considered like, can you capitalism from bed? Have you tried that? I'm like, oh, you know what? I can capitalism from bed. That's fine. I can do that.
Oh my gosh.
Can I capitalism in my PJs? Because then fine, I'll do it if
Right.
I have to.
So do you think that during the diagnosing process and everything, did you feel pressured to act a certain way because of how you might be perceived?
Oh, for sure. I think one of the big ones for me, because I mean, like, as I started having issues, I got really interested in the health side of it. And like, one might say it became a hyper focus and special interest of mine. I got really into that. So yeah, right? How many of us do this? We're, you know, also neurodivergent and just get like so into our own issues that like we become experts in them. I went back to school. I learned things. I studied. I did the research. And then I went into the doctors and like I try to go into the doctors with that knowledge and knowing what I'm talking about. And that was a problem for them. They didn't like that. They didn't like the idea that I was like essentially self-diagnosing. And I was like, no. I mean, like, I fact checked. I got some varying opinions here. And like, because for a long time there was, I mean, I think probably about 7 years after that kind of initial like hip slip, I finally had somebody say the word hypermobile to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay. And I was able to start researching into that. And then like literally nobody knew what I was talking about after that guy. And I couldn't even find him again. Like he had moved or something. But so like none of the doctors knew what I was talking about. So I had to keep doing this research for myself.
It's literally the word hypermobile, like it explains itself.
Right. And they were just like to them, they just thought, oh, you're a little bendy. You're very flexible. And like the thing about hypermobility is it is a spectrum. Like you can be hypermobile and a superb gymnast, but you can also be hypermobile and have joints popping out of place or subluxing daily, constantly. It's good times.
Yeah.
Love it. You can also be hypermobile and also have a ton of systemic issues because fun fact, it's a connective tissue issue. And if you have connective tissue issues, everything becomes a problem.
Yeah, it's bad when you're like, oh yeah, my spine's super bendy too. And they're like, cool. And I'm like, no.
They're like, oh, so you can do like back bends in yoga really well. And I'm like, yeah, thank you. I can do yoga.
No, but I'm really good at falling.
Yeah.
Like really good at
Also,
it.
yoga is actually really bad for people who are hypermobile if they're not doing it safely and in the right way. This was a fun thing I learned after becoming a yoga teacher because, again, everyone kept telling me to try yoga. And I was like, fine, I'm going to figure out yoga. I'm going to figure out what it is about this yoga thing that everybody keeps telling me is so amazing. Exercise didn't work. Maybe yoga will. And it was kind of the same thing. Like, if you don't do the things in a modified and adapted way for what you need, none of these things are going to work.
Yep.
If you try to do it in the traditional way, it's going to probably hurt you. One of my big problems, and I'm sure you've heard this a lot too, with a lot of the doctors that I saw, I would tell them what I have, and the few that were like, okay, yeah, I do know what that is, I actually had them say, well, why do you need a diagnosis? There is no treatment.
Okay, first of all,
Sir,
just because you don't know how to Google something.
I have a list of 10 problems with that, to be first of all.
Like, first of all, I'm the one diving into these medical journals to find out that, yes, there are treatments for stuff like this.
Yeah.
Second of all, like, learn how to use Google Scholar, guys. Like, I realize that
At the very least,
there is an endless amount of data that you're expected to know as a medical professional, but like, I honestly appreciate it when somebody's like, let's talk to Google and see what's what. Yeah. And I'm like, if you don't know something, then find me the person who does. It's that easy.
And if you don't want to admit, tell me you're going to do some research and come back later. I will. Oh my gosh, so happily. Like, if a doctor ever said something like that to me, I swear I would drop. I would drop dead right there in shock.
Yeah.
To have a doctor admit, I don't know. Let me do the research. Let me look it up. Let me go learn a thing. Come back. Like,
yeah. Amazing.
No, because I've had to go and do the research and come back and educate them.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous. And like the guy who said, like, why do you need a diagnosis? I was like, because every one of the possible treatments for any of the conditions and issues that I do have need to know that this is a thing. Like, to go for massage or something like that, which sounds very like, non-harmful. Mm-hmm. But if they don't know that you're hypermobile and push too hard on a joint, they can do serious damage. Mm-hmm. That is a problem. If they don't know that you bruise easily and push too hard, that is a problem. Mm-hmm. There are certain issues, and like, there's so many little things, and like, there are a lot of little ways to treat. Like, there are, like, knowing that I'm hypermobile and knowing that it is a connective tissue issue, I can take different supplements and figure out like what am I maybe lacking a little bit.
But also, something that I've noticed recently is that unless you have a formal diagnosis, you cannot participate in most research studies for experimental treatments. So like, if there becomes more treatment options available and you want to participate in those research studies, you have to have a formal diagnosis in order to do it. That alone should be enough to pursue a diagnosis, so that if a treatment becomes available, you can at least try it.
Are there not freaking endless reasons as to why a diagnosis would be beneficial? And like, at the very like base of it all, the validation, the understanding, the having a name to go along with it. Like, one of the big things in life, until I had a name and a word for it, was it's invisible, but not always. Sometimes when I stand up, I'm really stiff, or my hip goes out, or I have a sudden pain, or like some days I can't do things and some days I can. Mm-hmm. And then everyone's like, well, but why?
And you can point to it and go, this is why.
Yeah, that but why is like the most painful question to be asked over and over and over again when you don't have an answer. Because once I could say, oh, I have this condition, it is called hypermobility. Like, it is a thing that causes this, and this problem. Being able to like say why I was getting these sudden chest pains and why I would get these like headaches, and then like shoulder would be out, and then my hip would have, to be able to say why, and that like I'm not just insane, and I'm not just like imagining it all, because the self-gaslighting at a certain point becomes for real. When you can't find answers, you're like, am I making this up? Am I just...
The self-gaslighting is so real.
Am I losing it? Should I be seeking a different kind of help? I don't know. Mm-hmm. What's happening here?
I feel you there, especially with people around me who have been like, why do you need labels? so many labels these days. Why do you need labels? I'm like, everything is literally inaccessible to me without a label. Treatment, help, any kind of assistance, mobility aids, that kind of thing, you can mostly purchase on your own. But like once it gets to a certain level, you need insurance help or whatever it might be in, different health systems. But having that label is basically like a pass to say, okay, these are the things that I definitely need accommodations for. And being able to define what those accommodations are, it's so important.
It helps you work through so many things. And like, one of the things for me has been going from, I just have some pain to I have a chronic illness and a disability. Like being able to say like, this is like being able to accept the terms as well, because I have a name for it. I can say that this is what it is. Like, it's not just some pain. It's not just some discomfort. And now, one weird thing that I was thinking about recently, and as you said it, with the labels, the weird thing I have found is that every time I've talked to somebody, like no matter what, like whoever, about finding a diagnosis, whether they were healthy or chronically ill themselves, they understand why I need that chronic illness diagnosis. They're like, yeah, no, that makes sense. So you can get help and so that you can get treatment and so that you can do something about it. Makes sense, 100%. And then I'm like, well, I'm also exploring the fact that I have ADHD and possibly autism. And they're like, why do you need a label? Why do you need to say it's something like that? Like, because it's the same issue. Because it's just like, it's not a physical thing. It's more of a mental thing, but like, it's still a thing that is causing barriers for me. And if I have a name for it, I might be able to take steps and make accommodations and do the things.
And access resources.
And there's resources. And like, the different approach is so weird.
Yeah.
That most people they're like, well, why do you need to figure out that you're ADHD or you're autistic? I'm like, because it makes things make sense. Like, it's the same as everything else.
Yeah. And I think part of it to me is explaining that mental health is a physical process to people. Like, everything in our body is a physical process. It's just that some are more electrical in nature and some are a little more mechanical in nature, but they all come from the same source, which is our bodies. If we didn't have our bodies, we wouldn't have to deal with all of this stuff, but we do. So we do.
That brings up like that other most common thing we've all been told is like, maybe you're just anxious.
Maybe it's all in your head.
I can't even. I'm like, have you considered it's anxiety? And like, I can't count how many of these doctors said that I'm anxious and then didn't even remotely question whether they should be treating the anxiety. I was so confused at this because they would tell me that like, oh, it's just anxiety. And I was like, okay, my knowledge knows that anxiety is a for real medical issue as well. Yeah,
so
like I
studied
that in school, like that was a thing. And so there's medications for that, yes. Like maybe I am just anxious, but like not one of them thought to try and treat the anxiety either.
Yeah.
And like that always blew my mind. And like...
Yeah, it's definitely become like the new hysteria for sure. Whenever they run out of ideas, it's like, oh, you're just anxious.
Okay, but like if we're going to keep telling women that we're all hysterical and anxious, can we go back to treating it the way they did back then? Let's start prescribing vibrators, doctors. Come on. I need my medical insurance to cover my vibrator. Thank you.
What if every time somebody said that a woman was anxious, they were like, have a vibrator, that'll help?
Oh, like going to the dentist when they give you a new toothbrush every time?
Oh my God, that would be amazing.
And do you need a new vibrator? Yes, I do. Which color would you like?
Oh my God, now I'm imagining Oprah being like, you get a vibrator, and you get a vibrator, and you get a vibrator.
She'd be way more popular if she did.
Right. So you mentioned that you're putting together, which I'm now a part of, thankfully, this business directory. So tell us a little bit more about the business directory and what your efforts are to put it together.
So I've been on this like weird, crazy adventure this last couple months of turning my blog into a whole community, which has been so fun. I went from just like blogging on my own and telling little stories and sharing tips and advice to now doing podcasts. I have a podcast myself, having like guest posts and starting this directory. And like my whole goal, because I know that like it's so hard to promote, like as a freelancer, I work in marketing. And so I know how hard it is to get your business out there.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted a way to help, and I wanted a way too to be able to like, when someone says like, oh, I need somebody who does this, I can be like, hey, I know a person, like, here you go. Like I have this whole list of people that does this, and they're all within our community of chronically ill and neurodivergent folk.
That's super cool.
Right? I thought, and like everybody loves the idea, which is fantastic. So I'm having a lot of fun with that. I've got, I think, 4 new listing applications sitting in my inbox right now.
Yay!
Super excited. I did originally start this like as a little bit of a way to monetize my blog and pay for the blog, which has been helping. So I do paid and free listings. And so if you do the paid listing, you get put in your picture, full little bio, couple extra links. But if you don't have that at the moment, or if you want something just a little simple, get your name out there, I have a free option that gets your name, a link, and a little description of your services. Right now, I think that page on my website is sitting in like top 3 of ones being viewed. So it's getting
Awesome.
eyes on it. Exciting. I know. I'm running out of ways to post about it without just like sounding super repetitive, which is a bummer, but
I think that's okay though, because like it's such a cool concept that I feel like even if you're repeating yourself, there are people who are going to see it for the first time and go, oh my gosh, that's so cool.
Yeah. And every time I do post about it, I get a few more people connected to it, which is really nice. And every time I do get listings, I get to post and say, hey, these new people have put their listing in and stuff like that. I also have a newsletter, and I do like a business highlight at the bottom of that newsletter. So again, the paid listing, you get like a business highlight there. So that goes out once a week. So I'm having a lot of fun with that. And I love promoting all of these other businesses and creators. And my gosh, this is like just the most creative community.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I love it so much. It's such a creative community. And so much of us so many of us were forced into being entrepreneurs. Like we are doing this against our will. We are doing capitalism entirely against our will, most of us. But like we're doing entrepreneurship against our will a little bit because we weren't able to find accommodations elsewhere.
Yeah.
So we've had to really like dive deep into what are we good at? What can we do? What can we sell? What can we create? And people have come up with such amazing things. I just put up a blog post today as a guest post written by someone who she runs a online D&D
That's so cool.
membership thing, right? I know. I'm joining in winter as soon as winter hits, and like I can't go outside anymore. I'm totally joining, and I'm going to try D&D for the first time, and I'm so excited.
That's going to be awesome.
Like she started this because she needed something, and she needed something that was like a little bit more fun.
Yeah.
So amazing. Yeah, love that. I have a business who she does accessible wedding planning.
Ooh.
Right?
I never even would have
used
considered
that.
how important that is, but it totally is.
I know, right? It's so cool. I have several different like business services. We have a lot of people doing VA work and VA work, branding, website building. I think I have some editors, some writers. Like I got a little bit of everything in there. That one's definitely like the most populated at the moment. I've got a couple little shops. I'm definitely looking for like Etsy shops and like anybody who's built their own little shops right now, especially with the way your country is being about us sending things to you guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for that. Not blaming you. Very certain it's not your problem, but there's people out there and you know who you are. You're the problem. It's become like a really hard thing for a lot of Canadian businesses right now with it, because they can't send across the border. And to be honest, there's more of you and we make a good chunk of our money off of you.
Yeah.
As it turns out, like most of these Canadian small businesses are really losing a lot of their connection, and it sucks because we like most of you and we want to.
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean, like,
bemoaning that the other day. I was like, I didn't agree to any of this trade war nonsense. How come I have to be in the middle of it?
Yeah, and why do you have to pay more now suddenly to order anything?
Yeah.
However, that's been our experience all of my life. Every time I've ever like gone, I'm like, I'm just going to order this. Like, oh, it's from the US. So now I'm going to have to pay like an extra whatever, $20 because so that's been our experience all my life. So it's a little bit like karma, I guess.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah. The Australians are over there like, yeah, it's about time.
So yeah, I'm just like, I'm having so much fun promoting all of these businesses. Oh, I have artists as well. And now I've started, as you added yours, I've started a creator section. So anybody who just like has a podcast or a blog or a YouTube channel or like a social media channel, talking about chronic illness and neurodivergence, I want to feature you. I'm also working on, because I'm going to tell you all the things now. Also, can you tell I have ADHD? Like, how many different things can I try to do?
Bit.
Right. Also, I'm working on a couple gift guides right now. Right. I'm so excited because like there are just so many amazing businesses. I did one Threads post where I talked about my directory and got 490 comments.
Wow.
That I had to go through to try and pull them all out to add to said gift posts.
So what is one question that you wish you had been asked during this journey of like dealing with chronic illness, but also starting your business?
Like one question that I wish somebody had like asked me to like how I would do it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, and this is kind of what I've based a lot of my resources around. And God, I just hate this word now because it's so overused. Pace yourself. How to pace yourself. That is, I wish, the first thing I learned. And I'm going to be very honest, I'm still not great at it. The thing about being chronically ill is you're constantly having to like monitor your energy levels and how you're feeling and what you can do.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of us get used to doing that in our daily life. And I mean, it's very hard because there's always a lot of things that we have to do, whether we're tired or not. But it's a thing we all have to do. And then when we start our businesses, we get very excited about it. And now we suddenly have 500 extra things to do on top of the things that we probably already had to do.
Yeah.
So it becomes very, very difficult to manage your time and pace yourself. And it's not that like we can't do it. It's that traditional advice and like the business industry and everything, they're really pushing that faster.
Yeah.
And, you know, like, oh, make the, 10K months in 3 months, do this like in 2 weeks, set up your business in 30 days. Like
that hustle culture.
Yeah, right. Like that hustle culture. And like, so I definitely dove right into that. I was like, I'm going to start my business. And then like, I started working 24/7. Like I loved it too. Like I do enjoy it. And sometimes like I have to stop and check in with myself. Now I've learned how to check in a little bit differently. Now I stop and go, okay, I'm aware that I'm overworking myself because I usually am. Am I still having fun? Am I still enjoying it? Am I doing something that is moving my business forward currently?
Yeah.
If yes, then the pushing myself might be worth it and I might have to take a day off tomorrow. If no, then it's probably something that can wait till tomorrow and I should probably chill for a bit. But learning that everything doesn't have to happen right now.
Mm-hmm.
That was probably like the biggest epiphany for me as I was building and burning myself out very quickly.
Yeah.
Realizing that everything can actually be done at a pace that feels good for you. And you don't have to follow somebody else's direction.
Oh, so much. Especially for me, it's about setting expectations that other people have of me. And so I want to pace myself so that when I have bad days, they don't seem too bad. But when I have good days, I try not to overdo it. So then it's expected that I'm going to be like that every day.
Yeah.
So it's managing those expectations for sure.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I've taken kind of a weird approach to it where I've decided that I cannot physically stop myself from overcommitting. The ADHD, she won't let me.
Mm-hmm.
She wants to do too many things and she is not going to stay quiet about it. She's got stuff to do. So I have had to decide that I can overcommit myself as long as I am gentle on myself when things fall through.
Mm.
So I have weekly content that I would like to put out and I have ideas and things that I want to do. But if I don't do it today, I don't beat myself up about it. It will get done tomorrow and I don't have a boss who's going to get mad at me.
Right. Yeah, that is so difficult. Yeah.
Yeah, none of it's the end of the world. None of it's going to be like, I'm not going to disappear from people's minds if I don't post this week. Like, I'm not going to, my business isn't going to fail entirely if I have a flare up and don't get to put something out this week. I might be doing too many things, but I know how to balance.
A lot of time too, I've felt like when I'm having the hardest time is when it's super important for me to be sharing with like my audience or whomever. I'm having a really hard time right now, and like elaborating as much as I feel comfortable elaborating, but basically going, this is what this looks like on a bad day, because it's not all sunshine and rainbows, but it's all like doom and gloom either. So it's definitely a combination, and everybody's got a different flavor of what that looks like on a good day versus a bad day. But like for some people, it's a good hour versus a bad hour. So it really depends, and just getting used to having to pace yourself and having to be gentle with yourself when you're not able to do something. It's really tough. But we actually have a running joke that nighttime Rachel likes to plan to do all of the things tomorrow. And then morning Rachel says, nope, not doing any of that. So I'll usually be like, I'm planning this and this and this. And then I wake up and go, nah.
I think of it now as when the ADHD and when the autism come out to play. Autism comes out at night. She likes to make plans. She's got an excellent plan. It's very organized. It's incredibly structured. It's perfect.
Yep.
ADHD for sure gonna wake up freaking early in the morning and say, nah, we doing something else. Right now, I am currently trying so very hard to not keep working on my hyperfixation project because I started updating and rebuilding my spreadsheet that I use for all of my business planning and stuff. And is really pretty and I really want to keep working on it. But I have other things to do. I have client work, which I'm also like equally excited about.
It's just like, just pause for a minute. And
just pause,
something that
like,
I've found is really useful for me is that like, especially the tasks that are necessary and I'll enjoy them once I get into them, I just need to start, is promising myself, like, you don't have to do this for more than 5 minutes, and setting a timer and then giving myself a reward for whatever it is, as long as I've done 5 minutes of whatever it is. Like putting away laundry for me is the absolute worst. I don't know why,
Yeah.
but like every time I'm like, this is the worst thing I've ever had to do. And then it takes me like 10 minutes. And I'm like, it's not that difficult and it's not that hard
Yeah.
mentally. Like it's not mentally taxing, but for some reason it's as the how to ADHD person on YouTube says, it's a wall of awful. So it's just one of those things that seems like I could
Yeah.
never get past this. And then as soon as I set a timer for 5 minutes, I'm like, well, I'm already halfway done. I might as well just finish it.
Yeah, I know. If I could trick myself into starting it, I'd never just stop halfway through. That would be weird.
Yeah.
Like, I would hate that. I couldn't do that.
You know, I actually have stopped occasionally because, like, I'll get 2 minutes in and go, I'm in too much pain to do this right now. So I'll,
Yeah.
put it off for another time or take that minute to say, do I need to go ahead and take pain meds right now or get on a
Yeah.
heating pad or take a hot bath or something
Yeah.
and just take that break. So it took starting something for me to make that assessment of like, okay, I need to stop for a little bit. But
Yeah.
yeah, I find that super, super useful. Or like for me with dishes, it's like I'll do one drying rack's worth of dishes and then just let them dry. And in the meantime, I'll go do something else that I've been putting off, and then I'll make a cup of tea or something like that. So I'll
Yeah.
like have something to look forward to. And if I promise myself I'm going to make a cup of tea, I go ahead and put the kettle on so that by the time I, getting to where I need to assess if I'm going to keep going, the kettle's already
Yeah.
ready. I'm ready to go.
Yeah. Yeah. That's all good. It's set. I've been having that and I think this is a fairly common one too. As soon as I tell myself I'm going to do something in my brain just like rejects it and I don't want to. And it's like, nope, sorry. You told me to do that. So we're not going to do that now. And I mean, like, I've heard of like a lot of people feel this when somebody else tells them to do something. And I get that. I also do that. But why I'm having to argue with myself to do the things that I very much want to do as well. And I'm like, okay, but like, for real, we could do it for just like 5 minutes. And it's like, nope, you tried to make a plan.
Yeah.
I also particularly love some productive procrastination. I really didn't want to do, well, I wanted to do it, but I couldn't do it. It's a project that I was starting to work on the other day, and now my pantry is very well organized and labeled.
Something that helps me too occasionally is like, I think of somebody I really don't like, and I'm like, that person thinks I can't do this. I'll freaking show them. Watch me. And then I'll
Yeah.
do whatever it is, the thing I think that they would think I can't do,
Yeah.
just to be like, I will show you.
Yeah. I don't have a lot of luck with tricking my brain.
Yeah.
My brain knows it's being tricked. She ain't going for it. I've just, I've been following the dopamine a lot lately.
Mm-hmm.
And just letting it flow a little bit more. Like I've tried to structure my days. I've tried to theme my days. I've tried to, I can time block some things occasionally, but like if I try to really plan out a day, it just never happens. And then I feel a little disappointed. But if I wake up and go, all right, what do I feel like doing? I feel like doing this. Okay, I have to do this. Like this is, once there's a deadline, if there's
Yeah.
a deadline and it has to be done, that's fine. I can do that. If this has to be done, there's a deadline here. I can organize it a little bit better that way. And sometimes I lose a day building pretty spreadsheets. And sometimes I end up getting 5 different things done and having no idea what I've done that day. But things are getting done. I've built a directory. I have a website. I'm building a business.
Yeah, and that's awesome. It's for me with ADHD, it's hardest to start something, and maintaining it isn't as difficult as like getting over the hump of I'm not the right person to do this because I'm not qualified enough to do this. Like, I don't
Yeah.
feel qualified at all to do this podcast, even though I have chronic illness myself and have been going through this
Yeah.
journey for like 15 years and like all of these relatable things. But at the same time, it's like that imposter syndrome is there lurking in the background. And then I'm like, that is just a Karen on my shoulder telling me I can't do a thing. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't need you. Watch me.
Yeah. I refuse imposter syndrome these days. This is my new approach. Oh my gosh, I can't even say it. Like, I can't say her name is Ilona. I think it's something like that. She's a rugby player. She plays, I believe, for the US.
Yeah, she's
Yes. Oh
amazing.
my gosh. Okay, she's my guiding light these days when it comes to especially like imposter syndrome. Why feel like an imposter when there's so many real imposters out there just like kicking butt at life and doing really well? No, ridiculous. I'm not doing that to myself anymore. I'm going to just truly believe that I am obviously good at this. I know what I'm talking about. I've been there, done that. And if I don't know what I'm talking about, and if I'm not sure yet, I can learn it because I don't have the ego of a doctor and I can learn it. And I have been able to learn it. I didn't come into building a business with a business background or education. I came into building a business with a fitness education and a diploma as a therapist assistant. Like, nothing prepared me for running my own business. I did it anyways, and it's worked so far. So, was it Elise Myers? I can't see why I can't. Like,
yes. Yeah. She's amazing.
Yeah, I can't see why I can't do it. Like,
yeah. Why not? And why not me?
Why not me?
Yeah. That's awesome. I love that so much.
There's too many things to be negative about these days. Being negative about my own abilities, can't do it. Won't be me.
Yeah. I love that. I love that so much. And that's totally inspiring because my husband just told me to write a book and I was like, oh, you're right. I should. I already started working on it.
Yay! Write a book.
But I'm
That's
like,
so awesome.
I can do that. Of course I can do it. Especially if it's like about my life and stuff like that and going through chronic illness and whatnot. Like, I'm already 100%. Doing a podcast on it. Why not write a book? So
I believe I might be talking to somebody soon who's also wrote a memoir, and she wanted to talk a bit about the process of writing a memoir, and especially when you're writing about like hard things. So
that's awesome.
Please stay tuned. Please come subscribe to my channel. That's going to happen eventually.
Yes. So I'd love for you to like shout out and promote what you're working on and stuff like that so that our listeners can find you.
Okay, so you can find everything at chronicallycozylife.com. I've got my blog, I've got my resource nook, I've got my directory, everything is there. I would love for you to join my mailing list because everything goes out there first. I send all of my new posts, all of my new videos out there. So if you don't want to have to try and keep up with me on all the different places, head over there. Please sign up to the directory if you have a cozy little business. If you are chronically ill or neurodivergent, self-diagnosed is totally fine. I would love to feature your business in there as well. If you don't see your category in there yet, I'm adding categories daily. So please just send me the application anyways. You can find me on Instagram and Threads. Threads is a little chaotic right now, but it's fun. We're having fun on Threads. There's no plan.
That is exactly what I've found on Threads. It's like, there's no plan, but we're having a good time.
I saw someone post a thing about like, do you want to be more consistent on Threads? I'm like, nah, I'm really good with my posting 20 times in an hour and then ghosting for a week. This is fantastic.
Yeah, Threads is where I can fully be a chaos gremlin, and I'm not changing that anytime soon.
I absolutely do not want a consistency plan on Threads, and I do not want to know how to optimize my posts on there.
That's amazing. Is there anything we haven't gotten to touch on that you wanted to cover before we go?
Gosh, I'm sure we could talk forever. about chronic illness life and business and everything, because it's a lot.
Yeah. And I just want to point out also that I'm going to be on your podcast. So to look out on your YouTube channel for when I come to your show.
Yes, and we are going to talk about job hunting as chronically ill people.
Yes.
Did you get the job?
I did get the job.
You got the job?
Yes. I'm so
Yay,
excited.
That's so exciting.
Yeah, I am so excited. I start at the end of September and it's going to be amazing.
Yay, I love that for you. That's
Thank
so
you so much. Yeah, I'm really excited. So thank you so much for being on the show. I so appreciate you coming on here and talking about everything that you're working on and your story. It's been so great getting to know you. So thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. I really loved being here, and I'm super excited to have you on my podcast and keep chatting about these things.
Yay.
So much fun.
Awesome.
Yay, new friends.
I know, right? It's so fun. So fun.
I know. Podcasts is my new favorite thing.
Yes. Thanks for listening to Abiding Hysteria. If this conversation has inspired you to tell your healthcare story, please reach out on social media at Abiding Hysteria or email me at abidinghysteria@gmail.com. If you'd like to support our efforts to tell these healthcare stories, become a patron today for only $5 a month. You'll get access to completely uncut episodes a week before the cut versions are released everywhere else, as well as bonus content as it becomes available. Our next episode will release on the first Tuesday of November and a week earlier on Patreon. So be sure to follow us at Abiding Hysteria or check out abidinghysteria.com once I get it working again to find out when it drops on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and wherever you listen to podcasts. Please be sure to rate, review, comment, and share so that others can find us as well. It genuinely helps us out and will keep the show going. Remember, when it comes to your healthcare, you deserve to be heard, understood, and most of all, believed.